everybody, and welcome back to my channel. If you're not already and you'd like to be, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up, so I know you'd like to see more videos just like this one. Okay, so today I'm going to do a paranormal story. I love doing these story times, especially because I've been around ghosts and spirits my whole life, so you know I have about 1 million of these to tell you. But today I'm going to tell you the one about the day my mother gave my daughter a picture of a Puritan woman that's about 200 years old. So I'm going to tell you the story of that. So, okay, so my mom is an antique dealer. She has been for probably 40 years. She's been an antique dealer for the longest. So she always got this really cool stuff that she would like bring into the house. Now, you know me, seeing spirits and everything like that, it used to drive me nuts because I would see her bring in these things that I would know was attached to like a spirit, and I'd be like, oh, you gotta get rid of that, you gotta get rid of that, you know, and that was basically my life, you know. But she had this picture. Okay, first let's back up. My daughter went over there to help my mom clean out her basement, and my daughter loves art. A lot of you know Jasmine and know she's an artist, has her own website, blah, blah, blah. And she went over there to help my mom clean out her basement. Well, Jasmine saw this thing wrapped in plastic in my mom's basement, and she was like, Grandma, what's that? And she was like, oh, it's just an old picture I had, but you don't want it. And Jasmine was like, I really want it, but my mom wouldn't give it to her. So I'm thinking, why won't my mom give it to her? She's not even using it, you know? So I'm like, do you want money for it or something, you know? But she was like, no, I just don't want to sell it. I don't want to give it to anybody. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. So then about 3 days later, after my daughters called her every day wanting this picture, she brings the picture over. Now, mind you, it's wrapped in plastic. It's got tape around that. You can see through the plastic because it's clear plastic, but you could see through it, you know. So I knew what the picture looked like. My daughter knew what the picture looked like, and she wanted it desperately. So she brings the picture over, and my daughter is so elated to get this picture. So she brings it over, and then she's like, gotta go. And I'm like, okay, you just got here, but she left. So I'm like, okay. So we go to the kitchen, and we unwrap this picture. Immediately, T's spidey sense starts going off, and I'm like, I don't know about this picture, girl, because I'm getting a weird vibe. It was like really weird. It was almost like I got an overwhelming sense of grief or something. It was so strange. So I'm like, okay, fine. You can have the picture, whatever. Even though I didn't like it. I would rather gave it back, you know. So she takes the picture up and she puts it in her room. The very first night she had that picture hanging up, I had a dream. And the dream was, I was laying in my bed, and we have these antique doors. We have a really old Victorian home, and it has those really large doors with the windows at the top that you can open to circulate the house, the heat through the house. And in the top of the window is probably like 10 foot high, so you couldn't just like stand there and somebody see you, you know. But I had this dream that I woke up, and my daughter was walking past the window, and I'm thinking to myself, how is she doing that? Is she on a ladder? But my daughter had really black hair, really black eyeliner on, and a red headband in her hair. And I'm going, what's happening? It was so weird. So I'm like, okay, that's strange. So I'm like, how did she get up there? How did she get up that high to walk past her window? It was so weird. So I'm like, okay, so I get up and I go to the bathroom because the bathroom's in our bedroom. So I go to the bathroom, and I look outside, and there's birds everywhere outside the window. And they like keep coming to the window, pecking on the glass. And I'm like, this is so weird, because it's like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Why are the birds out? Why are they pecking on the glass type thing? So I'm like, okay, maybe it's cold outside and maybe they're trying to get warm. I don't know. So I close the curtain, go to the bathroom, and go back and lay down. And I noticed that my man that was laying this way is now laying the opposite way. And mind you, I was married at the time. So he was laying with his head at the top of the bed, and now he's laying with his head at the bottom of the bed. So I'm like, from the time I left to go to the bathroom, he did a complete 180 in the bed and then fell back asleep. I don't know. So I wake him up and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And he looks at me and starts laughing. I'm like, hey, I want to tell you that I think I see Jasmine walking back and forth real tall in the window. I don't know if she's on a ladder or something. I want you to go look. And he starts laughing at me and goes, you with that crap again. And I'm like, what? Because he's never talked to me like that about my gift or anything. So I was like really stunned and like took back. I was like, what? And so I was like, okay. So I lay back down in the bed. I'm like, whatever, I'll just go to bed. I lay back down in the bed and I wake back up. And this time she has somebody in her room with her, and now they're both walking past the window. And I'm thinking, who is that? And mind you, her fiance lived with us, and I thought, what are they doing? Are they decorating? I didn't know. So I look over, and now my husband is at the top of the bed with his head facing this way, and I'm like, what is going on? So I walk to the bathroom, I look out, and it's like silent. No birds, the dogs aren't barking. It's so quiet you could hear a pin drop. I mean, it's just quiet. And I'm like, this is so strange. Am I awake? Am I up? So I wake my husband up and I go, am I awake? Am I awake or asleep? And he just like ignores me. I'm like, am I awake or asleep? And he just ignores me. So I'm like, this is crazy. So at this point, I don't know if I'm still asleep. I don't know if I'm awake. I don't know what is going on. So I'm like, okay. So I lay back down again. And this time, I have a different dream. I dreamt that there was this cabin. And it was like in the middle of the woods. And there were like mountains everywhere outside the cabin. And this cabin was actually like at the top of like one of the other mountains on the other side, but you could see other mountains and like a river down below. And there was this cabin, and as you walk in the front door of the cabin, there's like art easels with pictures everywhere of like oil paintings, and they're all of this girl in different things. Like one's of just her, young and beautiful, you know, with her hair flowing. Another one is her with a man holding a baby, and then her by herself, her crying. And then when I walk in the room, she's sitting there painting the exact same picture that Jasmine had now. So I'm like, what is going on? So I walk around to see what she's painting, and the painting's like half done, but it's of the picture that my daughter has now. When she got to like finishing the face, she got hysterical, started screaming, crying, throwing herself on the floor. And she got up, turned around, looked at me and said, you know my baby's gone, right? You know he's dead, right? And I went, who? And before she can answer me, she just took off walking slowly toward the mountain. I thought, well, maybe she's going to think about some things and come back and tell me what she's talking about. She just literally walked off. She just literally walked off the mountain. So I run out of the cabin of the house, and I go to look down, and she is literally on a rock, dead at the bottom of this mountain. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what do I do? At that instant, I wake up, and I'm like, this is crazy. Am I awake or am I asleep? I don't know what's happening. So I look over to my daughter's room, and my daughter is laughing in the window. She's got the black hair, the black eyeliner, the red headband, and she's literally laughing at me. And I start pinching myself, going, am I awake? Am I asleep? I don't know what's happening at this point. So at this point, I reach over and I start waking up my husband. He turns around and starts laughing at me too. So I'm like, okay, I'm asleep. So I start trying to wake myself up, and I finally wake up. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness I'm awake. So I get up to go to the bathroom, and I'm like looking out the window to see, and it all looks normal. It all looks great. I'm like, oh my God, that was such a crazy dream. So I walk over to the bed, and now I see that my husband's awake. And I'm like, okay, good. I'm going to tell him my dream and see what he thinks about it. So I turn around to ask him, and he said, you're asleep. Wake up. I went, what? He said, you're asleep. Wake up. I said, I'm asleep. He said, wake up. The minute he screamed, wake up, I woke up again. But this time I woke up, he's sound asleep. I'm like, this is crazy. So I'm like, this is crazy. I don't know if I'm awake. I don't know, whatever. So I start shaking him real hard. He turns over. He's like, what? I said, am I awake or am I asleep? He said, you're awake. I said, oh my God, please, am I awake now? He said, you're awake. I said, okay. So I go in there. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning. My daughter is sound asleep. Her man is sound asleep. The baby is sound asleep. And she's like, what? And I'm like, Jasmine, that picture, you've got to get it out of here. Give it to me right now. That picture is gone. So she's like, Mom, why? And I was like, Jasmine, give me the picture. I gotta get rid of it. Something's in it. Something's wrong. Something's attached. And she's like, fine. So I take the picture. The next day, her man comes downstairs and says that Jasmine woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, stood straight up in bed, looked straight at that picture for an hour nonstop without blinking, and just sat there and stared at it, and then walked to her closet, opened the closet door, talked to somebody, and laid back down. She doesn't remember any of it. I said, why didn't you wake her up? And he said, I tried and tried and tried multiple times to wake her up, and she wouldn't wake up. So I just watched her to make sure she was okay. It was that picture. So I thought to myself, how am I going to tell this story and do this without showing you guys the picture? Because I took the picture, I wrapped it up in black trash bags, bound it with rope, bound it with tape, and stuck it inside of a freezer that no longer works in my garage. And it has been sitting there for like 2 years. So how was I going to show you guys the picture today? Okay, well, for you guys, I did. I took my assistant Melanie, took that picture out of the freezer, made her go out in the alley, and I held a little thing of black Himalayan sea salt that I was going to put all over that thing when we bound it back up. So she opened it, and the crazy thing is when my daughter got that picture, half the face was done. Like over here, now it's gone. There's no face, there's no image, there's nothing. This side is perfect, but this side is gone. Okay, so I had my assistant unwrap it. We took a picture of it, and I threw that sea salt all over it, and I will insert that here. Okay, we are in my garage, and we are going to get the bound picture out of the freezer. Well, actually, we've tricked Melanie into doing it. So there is the picture that Melanie is going to dare touch and get out, and we're going to unwrap it, show you the picture, and then we're going to bind it back up. Okay, Melanie, don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
If I do this, will it go through my sweat?
I don't make no guarantees, no promises. Man. You said you would do it.
Come on, bitch.
Don't be scared.
Bitch, I ain't scared of you.
Now we're going to take it to the alley, because I'll be damned if we'll unwrap it in my house.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, we're taking it over here to the alley. She's going to unwrap it in the alley.
I thought Gerald was going to unwrap it.
Right, no.
Man, is it, you guys ready? Get that shit ready to throw on it. I'm serious.
I'm serious too, girl. You thought this was a joke. You thought I was telling tea stories. You thought I'm going to go over there and she ain't going to have nothing.
Here, let's just do this. Get another trash bag ready.
Get another trash bag. Oh, he got one.
Yeah,
This is not his first rodeo. He's like, you think this is a game?
Apparently not.
Take it out.
It's the picture.
I know.
And it's upside down.
Look, he threw you the trash bags. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, look, one side's gone. Can I tell you a secret?
That face was on there.
There was that face used to be on there. Now it's gone. Yeah. Okay, so that's the picture, you guys. I got some black Himalayan sea salt, and we're gonna just, there you go, girl. Now we're gonna put her straight back in that trash bag, Melanie. You're not gonna get me tonight, girl. You stay right where the hell where you go. And then I'm gonna put some more salt in that trash bag. And that picture's probably worth a lot of money, and it's so old, and I don't even care. Okay, lift that trash bag up. I'm gonna put some.
Oh, put some in here?
Yeah, I'm gonna put some in there. Let me just put all of it in there.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll just bound it up, fold it in half. So then I got a hold of my mom, and I said, what is up with that picture? And she said that the lady she got it was from an estate sale, said that that girl had lost like her husband and her baby in a fire, and that she had grieved, and that it was someone in her family from years ago, and the story had kind of like come together like through the years. I was like, I wish you would have told me that. And she said that's why I didn't want her to have the picture, but she begged me. I told my mom take that picture back. She wouldn't do it. So I still have that picture bound up in these trash bags with tape in my freezer with the black sea salt. So I'm thinking, you know, my mom's like, that picture's worth money. You should just sell it. I am not selling that picture to nobody. I do not want anybody to go through what I went through, and no amount of money is worth that. So yeah, that is my paranormal true story for today. And again, like I said, this is my life. So I'm sure I have a million more stories for you guys. And remember, all my stories are true. These are true stories from my life. So I hope you guys enjoy them. Bye.